I'm really annoyed today with WB. It's not the first time, I'm sure it won't be the last. And I have a few points and things I'd like to bring up, but the whole crux of this video is this. I know that Batman Arkham Origins is basically 10 years old at this point. I also know that online games have an expiration date. Despite the fact that some people will claim that they don't, lots of these experiences shut down. You can look up entire lists of them being shut down. So you can guess my joy being an avid Batman Arkham fan when I found out that the multiplayer was still playable this year. Playable on PC with a mod, and playable on PlayStation 3 if you just waited to actually connect to the server. It took about an hour to do so I would say I wasn't sitting twiddling my thumbs during it, I was doing other things. But as someone who works a lot of hours, I don't have a lot of time to play games like this at very specific times. I understand that is a me problem, but something that really annoys me about games like this, and the existence of them, is that they're never really preserved. Eventually they always go offline, they disappear, people aren't able to play them anymore, things like that. And sometimes they come back. But as of yesterday, and I'm hoping this ages poorly, the Batman Arkham Origins multiplayer has once again ceased functioning. It has shut down. I made a joke in my previous video about this topic, that I thought that maybe there was some WB employee who just forgot to turn a server off in a basement of a warehouse somewhere. I still like to picture that in my mind. At the end of the day, no matter what this is, whether this was cost saving, temporary, or whatever, it's just a long line of circumstances leading here that basically culminated in this point. So here's what I'm trying to say. I'm really irritated. So I'm trying my best to formulate my thoughts because I try and be a fairly logical person, but I'm also human. I have emotions. Something I've been working on over time is trying to play this game, enjoy this multiplayer because I knew it would not last, and I was trying to actually get the platinum on Batman Arkham Origins. I was missing 2 trophies left. One of them is Predator Paragon, which is this trophy where you need basically a full lobby of 7 to 8 people. And the other one, my cats are going insane, was another Predator trophy that doesn't really matter. So I shouted out, obviously, a very nice community of people who would play this game. They did trophy boosting. They did all kinds of stuff with this game and other games. And I'm going to include their Discord link in the description down below, along with mine, and I will label which is which. But I've been playing the game with them for a couple weeks since I made that video, and of course WB now has taken it offline. It is possible that it will come back. This did happen previously with the Xbox 360 version of it, came back for a while, and then it permanently shut down and has never come back. A lot of the speculation of that was tied to hacking groups and people on Xbox who took credit for, basically taking it down, who were still pretty much seen online playing it at the time, which was very odd. But that system is just gone. And it's unfortunate because, my personal annoyance aside at my trophy thing, because at the end of the day, these are stupid digital accomplishments. I like them, but they don't really matter that much. What really pisses me off is the disrespect towards this game and the fact that after all these years, they can't be bothered to do a damn thing with it except take features away. There's really no reason that a company like WB, with how much money it has behind it, can't keep servers to their game up. I don't care if it's 1 year old, I don't care if it's a month old, I don't care if it's 10 years old. There's really just no reason they can't. And yes, I know, it's unrealistic for them to do so, but my point is, why can't they? I don't even care if it's not making money. Why can't they keep it up? And if it's to save money and cut costs, I'm kind of wondering why their current CEO, David Zaslav, who purchased this company, and had it basically merge with Discovery, that dude's able to make $500 million in a handful of years. Now there's a writer's strike going on in Hollywood. Those people don't even make a livable wage most of the time. And I know their writing sucks. I hear that statement all the time. But it's really funny to me because the people at the top, they're the ones who mandate a lot of things, right? So you have executives. They mandate bad writing. Seriously, believe it or not. This is not really about the writer's strike, but I'm making a point. You will have people like Zaslav, people like these high-ranking executives. They will be the ones to push the direction of the company, to push the direction of narratives, politically or otherwise, in their movies and say, our movies need to go more this way. This is what we're doing. Do this. And then those writers will do that. Well, currently those writers are on strike for not making livable wages, and they just pretty much do what the executives above them tell them to. Now, those executives still make a wage. They're still fine. And it kind of mirrors the situation here in a way, where basically unrelated things end up taking the hit, I should say a financial or effort hit, while people at the top just kind of glide on by. They're smooth sailing, they're making millions of dollars, if not $500 million, and they have no problems. WB has the ability to waste money on so many different fucking things, and it makes me so mad. Look at all the stupid products and games and movies that they have funded. Things that nobody asked for, nobody wanted. Those get money. Those get time. Those get effort. But the things that community members enjoy, even if it's just a few hundred people at this point, because when I made that video, there were actually like 100 people who joined or something ridiculous like that, joined that server to play Arkham Origins. That's a lot of people who just had interest in an old experience they either missed or never got to play. And now there's really no preservation for that unless it comes back. And like I said, I'm really hoping this video ages poorly. I'm hoping that comes back. I'm hoping it comes back up and that, the people are able to play it again. Yeah, I mean, obviously I want my trophies, but at the end of the day, I really thought that this was a unique gaming experience that I do want to talk about. But I guess my point here, and I am just very annoyed, so I'm not sure if all of my points came off correctly in this video or will, but my point is that WB has so much time, effort, and just stupidity to drive into so many different things, but for some reason WB and WB Games just have no interest in preserving or keeping Batman Arkham Origins alive at all. It's really been the most mistreated out of this franchise, other than, I guess, tie-in games like Arkham City Lockdown or, Batman Arkham Blackgate, I suppose. Those were not treated very well. But you see consistently the Rocksteady trilogy of Batman Arkham games is treated fine. Those things are preserved. Those things are worth keeping around. Those things are worth keeping going. But when it comes down to it, this isn't. This is something that like, oh, well, somebody made a video about it. People are having fun. We got to do something about this. That's what this comes off as to me. Oh, we're not making any money on that. That costs $2 a day to run those servers. We better shut that down. And it's really stupid to me and ridiculous because this company, it's the most wasted potential company I've probably ever seen in my life. And I'm being serious, at least when it comes to intellectual properties and characters. So when we talk fictional property companies, as in they own fictional properties, they own the ability to tell stories, to create unique, interesting experiences, this is one of, if not the most, missed opportunity, glass half empty, wasted potential companies of all time. WB continues, for some reason, to not listen to what people actually want to see, not listen to what people want to play. When I can make some fan fiction video about how I would continue the Batman Arkham series with just my little English degree and my teaching degree, I do have a couple degrees, believe it or not, and no video game background experience other than being a player, and people watch it, like we're talking thousands and thousands of people show up and say, hey, I'd love to see that. Hey, that sounds cool. Hey, I don't really like your ideas, but I want a continuation of this. Like, there are tons of people who have an interest in this franchise, and it just kind of goes by the wayside. And, they don't even have to make new games. But why not preserve the experiences that already exist? And the efforts to preserve them have just been kind of bad. I mean, we have the Return to Arkham collection. I know some of you like that a lot. I think the graphics are actually kind of inferior, and the performance, at least on base Xbox One and base PS4, was not very good. That was not, in my opinion, a very good way to preserve the games. There is now going to be the Arkham trilogy on Switch, which 2/3 of it, I would argue more in terms of playtime, but 2/3 of those games are just digital only, and you have to download them, even though you can buy a physical cartridge, so that's not a great way to preserve the game. Then, of course, there is also this, where, you look at Arkham Origins, and it's been preserved basically not at all in terms of bringing it up generations. The best we ever really got was the ability to stream the game with newer PlayStation services, and I've found that even with pretty top-of-the-line internet, that doesn't work very well. There's a lot of latency issues and even graphical problems with streaming games so far. I really just don't think it's the same thing. And then, of course, there is the backwards compatibility with Xbox only if you have a disc for Batman Arkham Origins. So there are ways to still play the single player, but now a very unique multiplayer experience that a lot of people did care about just quit working magically overnight, a little while after I put my video up. Now, I don't want to oversell my importance, but I have been told before by people affiliated with WB that there are people there who watch my videos about their products. And something that really irritates me with that is that whenever I talk about their products, I'm talking about things that I enjoy or things that I like and want better. And for some reason, it seems like that's somehow threatening to the company. That's somehow a bad thing. I noticed as soon as I was more critical of some of their decisions, I never really heard from them much again at all, which I've talked about before on this channel. And now I've noticed that sometimes when I bring up things like this, they just magically go away after a little bit. And it's not just a situation of, well, Jay, you're imagining it. Because here's the thing, this multiplayer was working for months. It was working for a very, very, very long time. I have a hard time believing that within 11 days of my original video coming out talking about how unique and interesting it was, I thought that this still worked, and how I encouraged people to play it to help preserve the experience, that it would go offline. I just find that to be a little... That's a hard pill to swallow, okay? You've seen the internet meme. That's a hard pill to swallow for me. Now, at the end of the day, I don't want to oversell my importance. I have like 120,000 subscribers. I barely get 10,000 views on most of my videos because YouTube does not recommend variety channels to people. I don't think I'm the next PewDiePie or Markiplier. I don't think I'm, up there in the big leagues or anything like that. But it's really irritating to me as someone who enjoys this stuff. I enjoy making videos. I enjoy the preservation of games. I enjoy some of these unique video game experiences, whether they be single player or multiplayer. And I do plan to make a video talking about the uniqueness of this game, whether it comes back or not, because I have footage. But as someone who enjoys these kinds of things, it genuinely feels like being punished for trying to preserve it, And I see this all the time in these gaming communities too, where someone will make a fan game, like they will try and port some game to a newer system because the company doesn't give a shit to do it. Or someone will try and make a remake in Unreal Engine because the game property's been sitting around for 25 years and the rights holders don't care about it. And then they'll hit that person with a copyright thing. Or they will try and bully or intimidate them into backing off because it's like, no, that's my toy. It's really weird to me too because I just don't understand. I guess I don't understand not listening to the consumers. I don't understand not listening to your fans. I don't understand not listening to the people who are paying your bills, who are giving you money to give to your CEO, to give to your bottom line, who are actually funding these things, and just telling them all to kick rocks because they don't matter in a lot of ways. That's what it feels like when trying to be a fan of WB. It genuinely feels like an abusive situation where it's like you really want it to be good. And you remember the good times. You remember when things were great. But this person just is not who you thought they were, or they're not who they used to be now. And that's genuinely what it feels like being a fan of WB stuff, whether it's their games, their movies, the comics from, DC Comics, whatever. It genuinely feels like you're just sitting there waiting for a glimpse of who you used to love to come back. But all you get is just mistreatment and abuse. It's really annoying and frustrating to me. At the end of the day, I know this is an old multiplayer, and I know, well, Jay, it's unrealistic for them to stay up. Yeah, then why make them? That's genuinely my question. Gaming is not food. This is not supposed to just be a disposable experience. This is something that matters to people. This is something that people create memories with. This is something that isn't meant to just be chewed up, digested, and shit out, and then it's gone. I really have never liked that style of video games in terms of treating them that way. I'm actually fine with multiplayer games. I'm fine with online games if they don't die. But the problem is they do. And this is just another example of that. And I really hope that this ages poorly, that it comes back up in a few days, and it's no problem. But even if it does, it's still just another example of them not caring about this game. They made it, they shit it out, and they said, you know what, let's give that thing the finger. Enough people bought it that it was a success. Thank God we put Arkham on the title. But you know what? It's not worth saving. And to a lot of people, this game was worth saving. This was a game that they really enjoyed, whether it be the single player, the multiplayer, whatever. And I'm just really sick of seeing it treated this way. To a lot of people, these things are not just products. My point, though, is that they are things that people make memories with and experiences with, and that they enjoy, and, you know, they matter to people. And it's unfortunate that the way the copyright system works, the people who make a lot of these things don't actually give a shit about them, but the people who enjoy them do. It's really sad because they just don't care. I genuinely believe that they just don't care. You know, and anything they act like they care about, I really don't think they will in the long run. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Like I said, I hope this goes the other way, but I'm really kind of sick of this company. I'm not excited for their movie reboot. I'm barely even interested. I'm not really that pumped for Suicide Squad because of how badly they've treated some of their past games and just how that's looking. I've just had less and less passion for talking about anything new that this company does because they just piss me off. So I hope you have a fantastic day. If you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will talk to you in the next one. Have a fantastic day, and as always, everyone, stay shway.